Rod Stewart, born Roderick David Stewart on January 10, 1945, in Highgate, London, grew up in a post-war working-class family. From these humble beginnings, he would rise to become one of the most iconic and versatile figures in rock and roll history. As the eldest of 5 children, Stewart was raised in a close-knit family where music was ever present. Early on, he found solace in singing, discovering his voice and raw talent, which would set the foundation for a career that spanned over 6 decades. Stewart's musical journey began in the early 1960s when he joined various British bands. His big break came when he joined the Jeff Beck Group, where his soulful and raspy voice immediately stood out. The band blended rock, blues, and soul into a distinctive sound that captured the imagination of listeners. His work with the group established him as a talented vocalist, and it wasn't long before he was recognized as a charismatic and powerful performer. The Faces, a platform for Stewart's charismatic stage presence. It was with The Faces, the band Stewart joined after his time with Jeff Beck, that his star truly began to shine. The Faces were known for their energetic performances, playful antics, and a certain irreverence that defined the era of rock and roll. Rod Stewart, with his charm and engaging stage presence, quickly became the face of the band. The band's chemistry, both on stage and off, allowed Stewart to hone his craft as a frontman while establishing himself as one of the most electrifying live performers of his generation. The Faces' mix of raw rock and roll energy with Stewart's soul-infused vocal stylings set them apart from the other groups of the time. Stewart's commanding voice, paired with the band's infectious performances, made the Faces one of the most beloved acts in rock history. Their chemistry was undeniable, and Stewart's interactions with his bandmates were often as entertaining as the music itself. The solo career. Rod Stewart's rise to global stardom. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Stewart's solo career took off. He demonstrated his ability to mix genres, combining rock, folk, and pop with a remarkable ease that few of his contemporaries could match. With iconic songs like Maggie May and You Wear It Well, Stewart showed his gift for storytelling, weaving tales of love, heartache, and personal reflection. His music resonated with millions, and he quickly became one of the biggest stars in rock music. Stewart's success was not just about his vocal talent, but also his ability to connect with his audience. His raw, emotional delivery and his relatable lyrics allowed listeners to see themselves in his songs, while his catchy melodies and distinctive voice kept them coming back for more. His versatility as a musician allowed him to experiment with different sounds, from rock to R&B, and he remained relevant for decades. Over the years, Stewart has released a staggering number of albums, selling more than 120 million records worldwide. His hits like Yacht, Think I'm Sexy, Sailing, and Forever Young have become timeless classics, celebrated across generations. Whether rocking out on an arena stage or crooning a heartfelt ballad, Stewart's voice and style have endured through decades of musical evolution. Musical evolution, the many faces of Rod Stewart. Stewart's ability to evolve as an artist has been one of the cornerstones of his enduring success. Throughout the 1990s, he released a string of standout albums that further showcased his versatility. A Spanner in the Works, 1995, highlighted his unique raspy voice and ability to blend rock with pop sensibilities, while If We Fall in Love Tonight, 1996, focused on romantic ballads and reaffirmed his place as one of the premier voices in contemporary love songs. The late 90s saw Stewart capture a sense of youthful energy with When We Were the New Boys, 1998, which featured a mix of original material and covers. The album captured the spirit of the time while staying true to Stewart's rock roots. The Story So Far, 2001, was a carefully curated anthology that celebrated decades of hits and fan favorites, allowing both new listeners and longtime fans to appreciate the breadth of his career. Perhaps one of Stewart's most ambitious projects came with his Great American Songbook series, a set of albums dedicated to the timeless classics of the 1930s and 1940s. With albums like It Had to Be You, 2002, As Time Goes By, 2003, Stardust, 2004, and Thanks for the Memory, 2005, Stewart introduced a whole new generation of listeners to the beauty of these classic songs. His soulful renditions brought these timeless tunes back into the spotlight, showcasing his vocal flexibility and his deep respect for the music that came before him. Personal life, love, loss, and family. Beyond his career, Rod Stewart's personal life has often been the subject of public fascination. His romantic entanglements and marriages have been widely discussed, each relationship marking a different chapter in his life. His first marriage, to model and actress Alana Collins in 1979, was the epitome of a high-profile union, with the couple becoming one of the most glamorous pairs in the entertainment world. Despite their shared success, the pressures of fame, travel, and Stewart's busy career led to their divorce in 1984. Rod's second marriage to New Zealand supermodel Rachel Hunter in 1990 brought a different kind of energy into his life. The couple, who were almost 25 years apart in age, became one of the most talked-about celebrity pairs of the 1990s. Their relationship had its fair share of challenges, but it was also marked by love and laughter. They had 2 children together before separating in the early 2000s and finalizing their divorce in 2006. Stewart has spoken candidly about how this breakup affected him deeply, and it became a time of reflection and personal growth. In 2007, Stewart married Penny Lancaster, a former model and photographer who had been in his life since the late 90s. Their relationship brought Stewart a sense of stability and calm, and their bond has endured longer than his previous marriages. With Penny, Rod embraced a more grounded lifestyle, focused on family and a less chaotic approach to his personal life. The couple has 2 children together, and Penny has become an integral part of Stewart's image, not just as his wife, but as a woman who complements him in every way. Rod Stewart's friendship with Ronnie Wood, a bond like no other. For decades, fans have sensed that there was more to Rod Stewart's relationship with his longtime friend and Faces bandmate Ronnie Wood than met the eye. Now, at the age of 80, Stewart is finally opening up about that bond in a way that is filled with humor, honesty, and warmth. Stewart describes Wood as a cheeky little brother, capturing the essence of their relationship, one that has been full of chaos, rivalry, laughter, and mutual respect. Stewart fondly recalls the early days with Wood in the Faces. Wood was always the life of the party, grinning, guitar in hand, ready to start trouble. Stewart laughs when remembering how Wood would show up with that signature energy, setting the stage for what was sure to be a good time, albeit one that might end up being expensive. Despite Wood's unpredictable nature, Stewart admits that it was this very energy that made their musical partnership so exciting. Stewart reflects on the creative sparks and tension that defined their collaboration. Ronnie and I didn't always agree on how a song should sound, he admits. He'd push me, I'd push back, and somehow we'd meet in the middle with something magical. Stewart credits Wood with helping him maintain honesty in the studio, something he deeply appreciated during their wild years. The two often worked through the tension and ego in the room, creating music that would go on to become rock and roll history. Navigating struggles together, addiction, fame, and loyalty. Despite the joy and creativity, Stewart is candid about the struggles the two men faced, particularly regarding their addictions. There were times when I didn't know if Ronnie would make it to the next show, Stewart admits. Both of them, along with other members of the Faces, lived on the edge during their heaviest years of fame. Stewart watched his friend battle addiction while feeling both helpless and frustrated. Sometimes I had to walk away and hope he'd find his way, he recalls, and somehow he always did, but it was bloody hard to watch. Despite these moments of tension, the bond between Stewart and Wood remained unshakable. Stewart speaks with admiration about how Wood could always make him laugh and lighten the mood. "You can't stay mad at Ronnie," Stewart says with a smile. "You try, believe me, but it never works." The Stones, jealousy, and pride. The friendship took on a new dimension when Wood joined the Rolling Stones. Many wondered if Stewart, as a successful solo artist and former bandmate, might feel overshadowed by Wood's place in one of rock's most legendary bands. Stewart is refreshingly honest about his feelings. "Was I jealous? Of course I was," he admits. "Who wouldn't be? But I was proud too. Ronnie deserved that stage. He'd worked his ass off for it and he belonged there." Stewart adds that the divergence in their careers only strengthened their mutual respect. "He wasn't just my mate from the Faces anymore," he says. "He became Ronnie Wood, rock legend, and I loved seeing that." Stewart's admiration for Wood's success in the Rolling Stones speaks to the deep, unbreakable bond they share, one that transcends rivalry and competition. A friendship that endures. As Stewart and Wood both slow down slightly with age, their friendship continues to thrive. "We grew up together," Stewart reflects. "We went through things most people can't imagine, and we survived it. That's something rare." The two men, who once lived the fast, reckless rock and roll lifestyle, now enjoy a quieter, more grounded existence. "We're a couple of old geysers who still talk rubbish and crack each other up," Stewart says with a grin. "Some things never change." Rod Stewart's reflections on his relationship with Ronnie Wood paint a picture of a friendship that has weathered the storm of fame, addiction, and the pressures of being rock stars. Their bond is one of brotherhood, mutual respect, and enduring affection, a testament to the power of music to forge connections that last a lifetime. As Stewart puts it, "Ron's family always has been, always will be."